Hey, it's George here. I've got one more story to share. Crazy loss prevention shoplifter story. This one involves demons and frequent customer cards to Chinese restaurants. Enjoy. All right, so I got another pretty interesting tale for you. I'm sitting in the camera room watching this woman, and I just see her grab a ton of CDs, back when CDs were a thing. And it was just weird because of how many she grabbed. So I kept watching her. She wasn't your typical person that looked shady. She was very well dressed. She looked very proper. She just grabbed a bunch of CDs, so I couldn't not watch her. Sure enough, she goes into our fitting room, and the CDs disappear. She comes out without them. I have the fitting room searched, and then all that's in there are the wrappers from the CDs. So at that point, I know she stole them because there's just no CDs in sight, just empty wrappers. So we keep watching her, and she goes up to the register, and we had to follow the rules at that retailer where they had to pass the point of sale and go to the front doors before we could stop them. So she went up to the registers and did what's called a courtesy purchase. A courtesy purchase is when you buy something small like a can of pop or a bottle of pop, or a gum or something like that, and you're making a purchase to make yourself look less suspicious because you actually paid for something. Well, she tried to buy a bottle of pop, and oddly enough, she tried to pay for it with a check, which is unusual because of the dollar amount of the pop. But anyway, she tried to pay for the check, but the check didn't go through. So she started arguing with the cashier about this check. I don't know what was going on because we didn't have audio. We could just see her. But anyway, she throws the check at the cashier. She gives up on buying the pop, and she just leaves. So we go and stop her, and it's me, kind of this older gentleman that worked for me, that was kind of my father figure, because at the time I was a little younger, and he kind of kept me in line. And then another younger loss prevention person, you know who you are. And then a young lady that just started working loss prevention that was brand new. So we go and stop her. We bring her in the office, and we start to talk to her, and we ask her about the CDs. Sure enough, she opens her purse and just empties out all the CDs onto the desk. So I'm great, we got her. But because there's so many people in my office, I start to think to myself, maybe I should go grab that check and see if it's a bad check or something. So they kind of hang out in the office with her, and I go and grab that check, and I come back in. They're all having a nice chat. A lot of times shoplifters are just nice people that make mistakes. They're not hardened criminals, they're just whatever. So we have nice chats with them until the police come and arrest them. But sometimes it goes very smoothly, and that is the case with this woman. So they're having a nice chat with her. And then I decide to ask her about the check. So I'm standing there with the check in my hand, and I'm like, hey, what's going on with this check? And I swear her eyes changed. In my head, they turned black. I'm sure that didn't happen, but in my head, that sure did. She stands up, and she just slams this card on the desk. And I'm thinking it's going to be something about our checking account, some sort of checking information. I don't know, but I was expecting it to be something about the check. I pick it up, and it's a frequent customer card to a Chinese restaurant. And I'm like, lady, what does this have to do with the check? And she looked right in my face, and she said, demon, get out of my body. I was like, what? What? And she said, demon, get out of my body. And she started chanting it at me. And I swear she was staring through my soul. And she just kept saying it, demon, get out of my body. Well, the older gentleman that worked with us, the father figure of the group, he was also a police officer at the time. He kind of sits the lady down because he thinks at that point she's a threat. Doesn't matter. Doesn't care what he did to her. Gets back in my face and says, demon, get out of my body. I was like, lady, I'm not a demon. I don't know what you're talking about. And she just kept saying it, and she just kept getting closer to me and staring through my soul. And then so the other gentleman kind of puts her down again. That's a little more serious because at this point, she's a threat. Doesn't care about him again. Comes right back at me. Demon, get out of my body. Demon, get out of my body. And at this point, I don't know what else to do, so I just start laughing. And she gets mad. And she just starts screaming it. Demon, get out of my body. Demon, get out of my body. And so slams her down again, puts her in handcuffs, doesn't care, comes right back at me. Demon, get out of my body. The unfortunate part about this is normally the police department always had our back, and they were always there right away. always there to, arrest the person, or if we were in trouble, they were always there to come help us out. In this case, it was shift change, so the police department was busy, and so I was stuck with this lady for an hour and a half, and for that hour and a half, it was just pure insanity. I just can't believe it. She checked out of reality. She completely checked out of reality. Thought I was a demon, I don't know what she thought, but I was pure evil in her eyes, and it was evident by the way she was looking at me. So anyway, the police finally came, and she really didn't harm anybody, so she just got a ticket. Hopefully somebody institutionalized her very soon after, but it was just crazy. So the poor young lady that just started working for us, I watched back the video of her office, and she was scared to death. I'm sure she just thought, oh my God, this is just what happens all the time, and sometimes it is, but she didn't realize that they're not all like this. But this was her first one, and man, what a first one to have. But anyway, it was just crazy times. So that's another one of my crazy tales. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, please subscribe, like the video as well, and come back for the next one. I hope to have many of our colleagues from across the country telling stories just like this. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.